So this week our group focused mainly on the Gestalts. Only one person really had much to say about behaviorism, or about Freud, um, and I don't know. I don't know why. Anyway, so for me, I found the Gestalts to be really interesting and have a couple of really interesting points of view. I thought it was also interesting that most of the people in my group didn't really bring them up. Um, our discussion focused mainly on how the Gestalts utilized multiple methods and, um, excuse me, looked at the pieces, not just the whole. But for me, I think one of the most interesting points that the chapter and the text made about the Gestalts was that they felt like the method should be adapted to the question. And I think that's a really important consideration that the behaviorists did not include in their system. Because the same type of research, the same approach is not going to work for every question. Um, and of course, they also, argued for including qualitative data and experience, which the behaviorists, didn't really want to do. The other thing that I thought was really interesting was on the topic of nature versus nurture, because I've found that to be a very interesting approach, and how everyone always seems to think that you have to pick one or the other. And I don't think that that's accurate, because I don't think that either one can be solely responsible for the development of a person. I think it's partially genetics, partially environment. And that was actually mentioned in the chapter about the Gestalt approach and how they felt about it. And they said that it was just entirely too simple to consider only inheritability or only environmental context to be responsible for human behavior. And I think that's the first time I've seen anyone in a text really, like, a psychological system approach it kind of with that much of explanation. But yeah, so that was kind of what I took away from this week's material and discussion.